Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another video, another war video. So this is war number 8 for season 58 of the Big Thing season, and 4Loki is facing off against FA&E, the Fallen Angels. And so I actually only noticed this and realized this now, but if you look at the little icon by their alliance tag there, that's the Master Rank 3 sign. And I just checked, they're in Master's Rank 3 right now, which is a few wars after this one. But yeah, man, they're having a spectacular season, 3rd in the entire world right now. We're having an alright season, But during this war, I only realized that now. Like I said, I did not realize they were placing the 3rd best alliance in the world at the time. But I cut myself a lot of slack because when this war was going on, I was about 4+ hours away from home. I was actually in Banff, which is a national park here in Alberta. I live in Edmonton. It's like 4 hours away. So it's very far. I've never been to Banff either. It's my very first time there. I was camping with my girlfriend and her family for the weekend. And so it actually just went on a hike. And it wasn't my first ever hike. I went on like a school field trip to Jasper, which is another fairly nice place in Alberta. And I remember we did a hike then. So I've done a hike before, but this was the first time I'm doing a hike as an adult. Probably, I don't know, I'm not in the worst shape, but... And it was also my first hike with my dog, Ace. Ace had never been on a hike before, so it was a very cool experience for us both. So it was about a 3-kilometer hike up, and then another 3 kilometers down. So in total, about a 6-kilometer hike. And so to put that, that's Canadian terms for anyone who's American. 6 kilometers is probably like, I don't know, like 3-ish miles or so. So just to put that into perspective for you. So I was pretty tired, after the hike. Ace was really tired. He just slept in the car ride back to the campsite. And then after we had gotten back, I needed to go to the bathroom. So I went to, the bathroom was actually pretty close to our campsite. So I went to the bathroom, found myself a stall. And I was like, all right, it's time to get down to business. And by business, I mean alliance war. So I joined up. And my assignment this war is Serpent on Node 10. I've been taking Node 10 quite a bit this season. And I was like, oh, a Serpent. Okay. So I get assigned Count Nefaria. And so, I asked, what's really the deal with this fight? Who should my synergy champ be? That's really, the first things I ask. And then my Officer Clown, he was like, it's very similar to the last season, when you guys remember I was fighting all those Serpents on the Hazard Shift Path 9, this fight's supposed to be very similar to that, so I can kind of treat it like that, and also just bring the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights. So I was like, okay, I did that fight 3 times last season, and I soloed it every single time. So, I was actually feeling quite confident here, even though I was camping, even though I only had a couple bars of connection in a public bathroom. I was like, I wasn't worried, really. I wasn't really worried at all. He's got 14 million health. But like I said, I'm very similar. It's actually going to be easier than last season. Because last season, there was another node where Serpent would retain 50% of his power after he threw a special. So that made the fight way more complicated and just so many specials that I had to bait. So it actually should, in theory, be easier here without that node. We still have the Hazard Shift, but it's totally fine. Also, speaking of Hazard Shift, that's another reason why it should actually be easier, because the Hazard Shift last season, I don't remember, or I think it was Bleed and Rupture. And Bleed, Nefaria's immune to, but he can lose some of his charges, and then he's not immune to Rupture. But here, it's Incinerate and Shock, both of which Nefaria has a ridiculous amount of resistance to. They're essentially almost immunities, but they still get applied, which is not even a bad thing, because that's just free willpower healing. So, yeah, might slow us down a little bit with Inequity, but, we got the Force charges really fueling our damage here, so I'm not really too worried about that either. So, I was just feeling pretty confident. I'm just going to keep on doing my thing. Fight Serpent how I normally fight Serpents. I feel like I've gotten pretty solid at fighting him all around. So, I'm really just not worried. Just keep baiting out these specials. Make sure I keep my Mr. Fantastic pre-fights topped off. Here, I was having a little trouble baiting the special, so I hit him with a little parry heavy. Here we go. We finally get the special baited. You know, I'm going to try my best to keep those Mr. Fantastic pre-fights from falling off. If they fall off, it's not the biggest deal, but, you know, I'm going to try my best. One of them's a Petrify, which just helps with the power gain. And then another one of them, I think is Suppression. That helps with his combat power rate, I think, a little bit maybe. And then the other one, I believe, it helps our damage over time effects that we apply, like that Incinerate debuff that I just applied. I think. It's been a while. And right there, I don't know what happened. I ate the special 2 right to the face. That's what the indestructible boost is for. But we took the numbers in red, which hurt, but at least we didn't take the whole thing. But yeah, man, this fight, it's going pretty well. He's somewhat cooperating, throwing those specials. I'm getting a lot of power on my own, having no problem, you know, cycling special 1, special 2. Boom, just saved those pre-fights in time there. You can see we're super hard now with like 69 of the force charges here. Even our Incinerate ticks for like 30-some thousand. Even the special 1 is doing so much damage here, man. Nefaria, just phenomenal option for this fight. And again, this is a rank 3 Count Nefaria punching up against a rank 4 Serpent, and it's still going this good. So yeah, man, feeling great at this point in the fight. I'm starting to take some block damage, but I'm not really too worried because I know the fight is just about over. So here, drop the special 1, and somehow that didn't put him into his death immunity. I was like, wait, what? So now I gotta bait another special out, and then boom. So I trigger the death immunity here. I'm just killing some time. My Mr. Fantastic pre-fights fall off. That's fine. I'm going to full combo, Relic, and then special 2. Kaboom! Serpent soloed by Count Nefaria, dude. I felt so good. Like, I definitely did not want to give up a death while I was camping as well. You know, fighting in non-ideal situational circumstances, but it's totally fine. I was really comfortable with that matchup already from last season. So, yeah. But you can see the score there. We had 13 deaths. They had 4. And, yeah, by the end of the war, we had 19 deaths. And they had 5. So, I absolutely now see why they are, you know, in 3rd place. They did really well against us. GG's to Fallen Angels. I did somehow have the 2nd MVP this war. I still don't really know how that works. Must just be because Serpent had such a high health pool. I don't know. But, yeah, guys, it's going to go ahead and wrap it up for my camping war of this season. I'm glad it went pretty well. And, yeah, we got some really exciting more war content to show you guys. I'm fight a Jean Grey, a rank 4 Jean Grey coming up in a couple of wars. So be on the lookout for that. Also fight an Arcade coming up too. So got some potent defenders we're going up in the next couple of wars. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. At this point in the season, I have participated in 7 of the 8 wars and only died 1 singular time so far, so not too bad. But yeah, it's going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great, wonderful day. Peace.